welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Maddie, and today I'll be sharing with you the songs from Taylor Swift's Red album as Fruits Basket characters. We are doing another one of these videos because I love doing them. The last one I did was for Fearless, and that was when Fearless Taylor's version came out, so that was in April? Is that when that album came out? Is that when that album came out? April, I'm pretty sure. So that was a few months ago. It's been a while. I've been really excited to get back into these. And I thought that the next one we needed to do was for Red because today, Red, Taylor's version, was released. So it is the perfect time to do Fruits Basket characters as songs from Red. And it's also a way to celebrate the re-release of Red, which is such an incredible album. So I'm going to be splitting this up into two parts. In this video, I'm just going to go over standard songs on the album, so the first 16 songs on the album. And then in part two, I'll go over the bonus tracks from the album as well as the vault tracks. That way this video won't be too long because there's, I think, 31 songs, including the standard tracks, the bonus tracks, and the vault tracks, and that's a lot, which would make this a long video if I did it all at once. And I'm pre-filming this, so I haven't heard the vault tracks yet. I have no idea what they sound like at all, so therefore I can't match them to Fruits Basket characters because I've never heard the songs before, so I thought it would be best to just split this up into two parts. And as an explanation, if you've never seen these videos of mine before, how I do these is that I go track by track on the album and I match that song to the Fruits Basket character I think fits the lyrics of that song. I'll also share with you specific lyrics from the song that remind me of that character or couple from Fruits Basket. And this will have Fruits Basket manga spoilers, so if you have not read Fruits Basket, have not seen the anime, and you don't want to be spoiled, then I'd suggest not to watch this video because I will be talking about canon couples. With that introduction out of the way, let's just get started on track one. So track one of my favorites from this album, State of Grace, such a beautiful, lovely song. The lyrics I chose from this one were, "You were never a saint, and I've loved in shades of wrong. We learned to live with the pain, mosaic broken hearts, but this love is brave and wild." And for this song, I chose a specific character for it, and I guess kind of a couple as well, and that is Kyo. I interpret a lot of meanings from this song. I think this song has more than one meaning in it. One of the meanings of it, though, is falling in love when you don't intend to. And I think that's just the perfect thing that describes Kyo. He has fallen in love with Toru when he did not mean to, but he could not help it. And he tries to resist falling in love with her because of his low self-esteem. He hates himself, therefore he believes he could never be good enough for Toru. Also because his freedom is to be cut short because he's destined to be locked away forever, or at least he thinks so. As we know, that doesn't end up happening. But those two factors contribute to him not wanting to pursue a romantic relationship with Toru. Because of these facts, it's going to be impossible. However, he can't help falling in love with her anyway because she means that much to him. And once he falls in love with her, he's never the same. As the song says in the chorus, "I'll never be the same." I just feel like this one describes Kyo so perfectly. And this song gives me chills whenever I listen to it. The chorus of it, amazing. Bridge, on point. I think all the lyrics really do apply to Kyo in a heartbreaking way, but also in a beautiful way. It just accurately represents him. The next one is Red, and the lyrics I chose are, "I tell myself it's time now, gotta let go, but moving on from him is impossible when I still see it all in my head in burning red." I really love the way Taylor incorporated the color red in this album to symbolize love and its complexity, since love can involve rage, anger, jealousy, heartbreak. And I remember her describing that those feelings all remind her of the color red because it's a very chaotic color. And I just love that symbolism, and that symbolism is incorporated into this song a lot. I feel like the color red and this song really describes Akito and Shigure's relationship, because Akito's feelings for Shigure, what comes with them is a lot of anger and resentment, and those are feelings that are brought up in this song. She feels so much anger for him leaving her, for cheating on her with her mom, which is, as we know, so messed up. I think anger is the #1 emotion that Akito does feel when it comes to Shigure above anything else, anger and resentment. So I think this song describes her perfectly. And the next song, this is my absolute favorite Taylor Swift song ever, and I think that's always going to remain the case. I don't even have words to describe how much I love this song. It's my favorite song in the whole world. That puts it at a very high standard. Like, no song has been able to surpass it. That is Treacherous. And the lyrics I chose are, I can't decide if it's a choice, getting swept away. I hear the sound of my own voice asking you to stay. And for this one, I chose Haru and Rin. This song is all about falling in love with someone that you know you should not be falling in love with, because you just know that your relationship is destined to fail, but you cannot help falling in love with them anyway. I feel like Rin really tries not to fall in love with Haru because she knows their situation. They are both Zodiac members, therefore they cannot fall in love with each other because they are supposed to be owned by Akito, who will not allow Zodiac members to fall in love with outsiders and will definitely not allow them to fall in love with each other. So she tries to resist that, but as we know, she gives in to Haru. She falls in love with him anyway. But as we also know, their relationship did end up failing a little because she felt like she had to push him back so that Akito would not punish him for being with her. But then, as we also know, they've come back together. It fits them because they have a falling out, but they come back together and they cannot help falling in love with each other despite the obstacles that's going to come their way. And their relationship is so beautiful, and I am ultimately happy that they did end up back together. And the fourth track is I Knew You Were Trouble. The lyrics I chose are, he's long gone when he's next to me, and I realize the blame is on me. And for this song, I chose Mayu and Shigure. The interesting thing with this song, and this is not something I realized until I think I found out about it through Instagram, is that Treacherous and I Knew You Were Trouble are supposed to mirror each other, because Treacherous is about falling in love with someone you know you should not be falling in love with, and I Knew You Were Trouble is about falling in love with someone who you know you shouldn't have been falling in love with, and the after effects of that broken relationship, where you ultimately do realize that you were right, you should not have been falling in love with them because they were no good for you. And when I found that out, it kind of ruined Treacherous for me a little bit. So Mayu does have such feelings for Shigure. She always knew he was trouble. She always knew they were never going to work out, and she ultimately does regret that relationship, rightfully so, because those two were just not good for each other. I'm really glad that they didn't actually end up together. They did not work well, and Shigure, as we know, pretty much is trouble, so I think the song itself fits him so well. Next one, the ever popular All Too Well. Y'all, I am so excited to hear the 10-minute version of this song. It's gonna blow my mind. I cannot wait. And I too love this song. I think it deserves all the praise that it gets. The lyrics I chose from it are, maybe this thing was a masterpiece till you tore it all up. This is another song that does remind me of Haru and Rin. This song goes over the beautiful times you had in a relationship, but it also goes over the aftermath of the breakup and the devastation that comes along with it. It's one of her most heartbreaking songs. I cry whenever I listen to it. Pretty much every time I listen to it, I cry. And I've never even really been through a breakup. So I don't know why this song just pulls the emotions out of me as if I have been through a breakup, but it just does. As we do know, like I said earlier, Haru and Rin did go through a really bad breakup, and afterwards Haru was just devastated, as we see, and it's really hard to see. Like, he knows they had so many beautiful times together, but the fact that it ended with a terrible fallout really weighs heavily on him, and he really grieves that relationship. Track number 6 is 22, and the lyrics I chose are, we're happy, free, confused, and lonely at the same time. It's miserable and magical. It's a little hard for me to pick a character for this song because most of the characters are teenagers, so they're not actually 22 yet. But we do have a few characters who are in their 20s. As we know, the Three Musketeer trio is in their 20s. So I chose one of them for this song, and that is obviously Shigure. So this song ultimately talks about being young and clueless, but just living your best life. And something I appreciate about Shigure's more positive side aside from his dark side, is that his more lighter side is really carefree and happy. And I think those emotions really do fit this song. Plus he's 27, so he's in his 20s, so it fits perfectly. The next track is I Almost Do, and the lyric I chose is, I bet you're sitting in your chair by the window, looking out at the city, and I bet sometimes you wonder about me. This one also reminds me of 𝑘𝑒𝑜 and 𝑡𝑜𝑟𝑢. This song is about someone wanting to reconcile with an ex-partner and almost doing it, but they don't. They're very tempted to reach out to them, but they stop themselves from doing it. This song really reminds me of the period where 𝑘𝑒𝑜 and 𝑡𝑜𝑟𝑢 were split apart while she was at the hospital. And this really isn't shown in the anime, but in the manga, it's more shown that 𝑘𝑒𝑜 was so tempted to go and see 𝑡𝑜𝑟𝑢 multiple times. But he didn't, because he had to do some self-reflecting first before he could see her again. But he had a lot of temptation to go see her. He was always wondering about her and wondering if she was still in love with him, which thankfully she still was, and eventually he did end up seeing her, and that was so beautiful. And the next one is We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. The lyric I chose is, you call me up again tonight, but this time I'm telling you we are never ever getting back together. And another one that reminds me of Mayu and Shigure in a pretty funny way. So this song is all about rejecting an ex-lover's attempts at trying to get back together with you, and while Shigure doesn't seriously try to pursue Mayu again, we see that he's always teasing her about them getting back together, and she's like, no. And that's why this song really reminds me of them. And fun fact, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together used to be my least favorite Taylor Swift song until Me came out, and I disliked that song a lot more. So now in comparison, I really like this song a lot more than I used to. Like, it really isn't that bad. Pretty good bop. The next one is Stay, 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 and the lyrics I chose are, you took the time to memorize me, my fears, my hopes, and dreams. I just like hanging out with you all the time. And this one reminds me of Yuki and Machi. And this song is about wanting to stay with someone forever because that person just gets you. And you can't ever see yourself without them. Even though they can grind your gears sometimes, you still want to be with them and have an everlasting relationship with them. Yuki and Machi had the type of playful bickering relationship, but at the same time, they do love each other. And I feel like their bickering is so endearing. It's just something that goes along with their relationship that's so adorable. The next track is The Last Time, which I think is the most underrated song on this album. I love it so much, and it doesn't get talked about enough. It's a disgrace. And the lyrics I chose was the whole chorus. It is, this is the last time I'm asking you this. Put my name at the top of your list. This is the last time I'm asking you why. You break my heart in the blink of an eye. And another one that really reminds me of 𝑘𝑒𝑜 and 𝑡𝑜𝑟𝑢. So this song is about taking an ex-lover back and giving them one last chance. But if they break your heart again, it's over. The reason this song reminds me of 𝑘𝑒𝑜 and 𝑡𝑜𝑟𝑢 is because during 𝑘𝑒𝑜's reconciliation with 𝑡𝑜𝑟𝑢 after she gets out of the hospital, she begs her to give him one last chance to prove that he wants to be with her and that he's never going to break her heart again. And she does, of course. But because of him on his knees before her just begging him, that's why this song reminds me of them so much. It's so, so perfect for that specific moment that happens between them. The next one is another favorite from this album. I adore it, and that is Holy Ground. The lyrics I chose are, and I guess we fell apart in the usual way, and the stories got dust from every page, but sometimes I wonder how you think about it now, and I see your face in every crowd. And for this one, I chose Kana and Hattori. So this song is about reminiscing on a past relationship that did fall apart, but you start thinking about all the good times you had with that person, and you treasure those memories. So obviously, Hattori's relationship with Kana did fall apart, but oftentimes we will see him looking back on their relationship and being grateful for what it was, and I really respect him for that. I love how he still has that love for Kana, and he's very, very grateful for the relationship that they had. He's very appreciative that he loved her. And even though the relationship fell apart, he's glad to have those memories. And I love that for him. The next song is Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. This is actually a song that I have a really hard time listening to for personal reason, and so I actually don't listen to this song very often because it leaves me really sad whenever I listen to it. It's just a very sad song. The lyrics to it are gut-wrenching. But the lyrics I chose for this one is kiss me, try to fix it, could you just try to listen, hang up, give up, for the life of us we can't get back. Because the song is super sad and is about a breakup that is devastating, I did choose Haru and Rin again for this one. And the song basically talks about a past relationship that fell apart, the heartbreak that comes after it, and wallowing in the sadness you feel after that relationship has ended. And like I mentioned earlier, Haru felt very broken after his relationship ended with Rin, and so I feel like his feelings are gone over in this song so well. He recognizes that they have something special, and that's why he feels so sad after it's ended. Track number 13 is The Lucky One, and the lyrics I chose for this one are, they tell you that you're lucky, but you're so confused because you don't feel pretty, you just feel used. I think this song perfectly describes Yuki. The song is about thinking someone is lucky because of their fame, but in actuality, that person is actually really lonely and doesn't feel lucky at all. Yuki is adored by so many people. He's adored by his classmates, by members of the Soma family, but yet he feels so lonely because he's unable to connect to people on an equal level. He's always been put on a pedestal when he wants to be able to be equal with his classmates, with members of the family, so that he's able to relate to them and form a more familial or friendship-based relationship. And as his character develops, we do see him start to make friends and be able to relate to people a lot more, so I was so happy to see him be able to branch out, be more social, and feel like he could have an equal relationship with people because that's what he deserves. And I think his character is a perfect example of the theme that even though a person's life may seem great because they're super popular, you never know what's happening deep down and what they're going through. They may actually be lonely, and that was the case with Yuki. The next song is Everything Has Changed, and the lyrics I chose are, all my walls stood tall and painted blue, but I'll take them down and open up the door for you. This one does remind me of Kyo and Toru. The song is about falling in love with someone and never being the same afterwards. And Kyo instantly fell in love with Toru, basically the first time he saw her when they were kids. And really he's never been able to fall out in love with her since then. And I love how the song talks about pretty much love at first sight, and I think that's what Kyo felt for Toru. He's just always loved her, always adored her. So I think his feelings for her is expressed in this song really well. The next track is Starlight, and the lyrics I chose are, he was trying to skip rocks on the ocean, saying to me, don't you see the starlight, don't you dream impossible things. And this song reminds me of Katsuya and Kyoko, Toru's parents. The song talks about the adventures of a couple in love. And I feel like Kyoko and Katsuya had the type of adventurous love that we see in the manga. And we get to see how they came together and started to want to spend the rest of their lives together, which is a scenario that is expressed in the song. The song goes over a couple who has a very adventurous love story and come together, draw closer to each other, and decide that they want to spend the rest of their lives together. And Katsuya and Kyoko did just that, of course, until Katsuya sadly died. So their love story was cut so short, but I did feel like it had a bit of adventure to it. And the final track is Begin Again, and the lyrics I chose are, I've been spending the last 8 months thinking all love ever does is break and burn and end. But on a Wednesday in a cafe, I watched it begin again. And yet another one that reminds me of Hatori and Mayu's relationship. The song talks about a scenario of someone going on a first date not long after they went through a really bad breakup. And after that breakup, they felt really hopeless that they would ever find love again, would ever find someone who would love them and respect them, because in their last relationship, they didn't get that. But when they go on this first date and get to know this new person treats them right and loves them, and they start to feel more hopeful that they can find love again with this new person. And as I mentioned, Hatori did go through a period where he just felt like he wasn't deserving of love, would never find love again because of his experience with Kana and the heartbreak that came after that. However, when he started seeing Mayu, he became more hopeful that this relationship was going to work. And as we know, it did, because they spent the rest of their lives together after the series ended. So I love that for him. I'm glad he really didn't give up on finding love. For a short period of time, he thought he would never find love again, but he did, and that man deserves it. And those are all of the songs for now. As I said, I'll be making a part 2. That should be coming out soon. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to put it out because I need time to really meditate on the vault tracks and take in their meaning, so therefore I can accurately relate them to Fruits Basket characters and couples. So I'll try to have it out by December for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what songs from Red remind you of Fruits Basket characters or couples. I would really like to know. Did you agree with me? I would like to know that as well, so leave some comments. And if you did enjoy the video, be sure to like, of course, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, those links will be in the description box, and I'll be back really soon. Bye!